Why y'all doing? Lord have mercy, what a blessing. I'm Dan. I want to welcome everyone to my home in the sticks. Wherever you at in the world, I hope everything's good with you and you're having a great week. Before we get started on today's video, I always like to say that if you are new to this channel, I want to welcome you. And if you returning just to see what old Dan's got going on over her, I sure enough thank you for coming back. But what I want to share with you and y'all today is, Lord of mercy, it looks like it's finna come a flood over here in East Central Mississippi. But I'm gonna show you and y'all how I'm gonna plant pole beans in one of my raised beds. So let's go. Dan, you can plant pole beans in a raised bed? Shoot, yeah, you can. Pole beans grow just about anywhere. And I like to garden in containers and raised beds. So yes, I'm gonna grow some pole beans in my 8-foot raised bed. The pole beans we're gonna plant out are these Blue Stringless FM-1s. And I'm a really big fan of the stringless pole beans just because they're just a lot easier to mess with. You don't have to pull the strings, but yeah. So yeah, ooh, felt a couple of sprinkles. So let's see if we can get these pole beans into this raised bed, covered up and planted, because I'm glad I'm doing it today because the rain's gonna soak them in. I may water them just a little bit, but the good Lord's gonna provide me with some rain and water these pole beans even more. So let me show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna plant these pole beans a little bit close to the edge, and I dug me a little furrow all the way down 8 foot. I got my tape measure out. I'm gonna plant a bean out about every 5 inches. So that's gonna give me a pretty good little stead of pole beans planted. Now, what I'm not gonna do is, I'm not gonna fertilize these pole beans at first. The only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some worm castings into this furrow, and I'm gonna set those beans directly on top of it, cover them up, and see what happens. Now, what I'm going to say is, before I plant out these pole beans or these beans, is I normally like to soak these beans overnight, just like you would if you were cooking them. Maybe help with speeding up germination, but I'm limited on time, so I'm just going to plant them just like they are. And with the rain and the moisture of the soil after it rains, hopefully we'll get good germination. So about every 5 inches, we're just going to plant us out a bean. All right, it's just that easy. We ended up with about 20 seeds in an 8-foot length of this raised bed. So yeah, I think that's going to work out really well. Now, if you're worried about using worm castings, which you shouldn't, because it's a really organic way to give your plants just a really light dose, trace amounts of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, just really small amounts. But I just like using worm castings because it adds a lot of nutrients to the soil, and it's going to help out these beans grow. So only thing we have left to do is just cover these guys up. Give them a little pat down maybe. Our beans are covered up nicely. Now what I might do is I may water this in real lightly just to get them started. But we got 20 pole beans planted out in this 8-foot raised bed. Okay, Dan, you didn't mention anything about the soil mixture that you're using in this raised bed. Well, mine's really simple. The only thing that I did was I added a little bit of black cow and some Bacto premium potting mix. Just turned it over, leveled the bed out, and yeah, good to go. Really simple. I try to practice the no-till method, where I don't try not to disturb the soil as much as I possibly can, because I don't want to harm any of the things that are trying to do their magic in the soil. So I just try to practice the no-till method. Now, what I'm going to tell you is what I will do is, if and when these pole beans bust the ground, that is when I will side dress and fertilize the plants, give them a little boost to get them to start growing. Dan, you said these are pole beans. How you gonna, what are they gonna climb on to grow? Because they're pole beans. Well, it is starting to rain now, or it's lightly sprinkled, so I'm gonna hold off on showing you how I plan on trellising these beans once they start to grow and latch on. But I'll tell you, it's real simple. I'm going to use a couple of T-posts and some horse fencing. That's what I'm going to use. But when that comes time, I'll bring y'all back and show you how I'm going to trellis these pole beans up, as well as how I'm going to side dress them to get them growing. Well, all right, that's what I wanted to share with you and y'all today, a short video just to show you and y'all how I intend on growing pole beans, and growing pole beans in a raised bed. Yes, it can be done, and it works really, really well. As long as you get your trellising system set up so those beans can climb and grow, ain't gonna be no problems at all. So again, I hope everybody's having a show enough great week, and I hope you're staying safe amid this crisis that we still have going on. If you like this video, go and give it a thumbs up to help. If you haven't subscribed to the Home of Six channel, Lord mercy, y'all need to come over here and give old Dan a look, because I'm always doing stuff like growing some pole beans in a raised bed. With that being said, you know it's coming. Dan Referee, show enough, always gonna say it. Don't let nobody doubt your shine. And I mean nobody. You sure enough get your shine on, put your hands in the dirt, grow something. It's important. And Dan will see you and y'all in the next video.